Well, hello, my soul friends. It is Victoria, the soul nurturer, here as promised to talk about the new moon. I've been pretty consistent about this. I think I started last year. Haven't missed a new or full moon yet. So here we go. We're going to talk about the new moon in Aries, which is tomorrow, Pacific time. I never know if it's Pacific Standard or Pacific Daylight. I don't know where we are. I just know Pacific time. Condense it to that. Anyway, it'll be at 11:24 p.m. tomorrow night, Pacific time. Or if you're on the East Coast, it'll be at 2:24 a.m. So in general, we have 3 days before and 3 days after to kind of play with the energy of the new or full moon. So this one is an important new moon to me. I feel excited about it, and here's why. I mean, for years, even though I taught many classes in January for the new year, it never resonated with me. I would always be like, I don't feel ready to set goals or intentions, right? Does anybody else feel that way? And when I met my husband, who's this, nature-based primal arts teacher and spent a lot of time in the woods and exploring my true nature, being in nature with him, I noticed that he would often start all his classes in April. And I was always curious about that. And the more I connected to my own natural rhythms, and the more actually I got into astrology and realized our natural rhythm is to kind of emerge in springtime, right? And it is the astrological new year. The new year begins with Aries, right? So I think let's claim this is our new year. I mean, does anybody out there need a restart from January? We've needed a lot of restarts. That's been the energy of, well, it's last year for sure. Start, stop, start, stop. But this feels like a really empowered, fresh, new start. I feel the other day I was noticing all of the trees in blossom. And I thought, wow, just like that, it seems like overnight the blossoms have arrived. But then I thought, but wait a minute, the trees and the plants and everything in nature was going through its own winter, its own dark night of the soul, if you will. But doing the inner work, its inner work, so that it could grow and emerge in springtime. So that's how I feel about transformation. And that's how I feel about this new moon, that all we've been working on through these last 2 years and this unfolding collective transformational cycle we've been in, that it just feels like you can just wake up and feel your blossoming and emerging happening. So that's my actually new year word, emergence. And I really want to invite you to select a word that empowers this fresh new start with this new moon in Aries. Now, we get excited about new moons because they mean, oh, great, set new intentions, fresh start, plant some seeds of possibilities, all good, right? But we really are in still a very strong state of healing, a stage of unfolding that looks like being present to what is still needed to be healed, what's revealing through us and in the world that we share that still needs some healing. So, I mean, I'm sure many of you have either watched or heard about the episode at the Oscars, yeah? And I've heard many different takes on that. So interesting to witness the different perspectives. And really, this is what healing is about, to witness how we're witnessing. What's the perspective you're looking through? So I noticed some people took Chris Rock's side, and some were defending Will Smith. And what I thought as a healer, I was just looking at it through the lens of healing. I thought to myself, I cannot wait for the time, and maybe this is the time, or a seed, a possibility for a time like this, where we stop from the perspective of who's right, who's wrong, and shift our perspective to what needs healing, what needs healing. And microcosm of the macrocosm start from within. If we got triggered by the event, what needs healing in us? And if we identify what needs healing in others instead of judging, shaming, or blaming, which, by the way, is our shadow projected outward, that's an invitation for a powerful, potent prayer for the person, any person in the scenario that triggers you. So how perfect that this new moon is not only conjuncting Mercury, our thoughts, our communication, our speech, what we're talking about. It's also conjuncting Chiron, which is it's called that wounded healer. And this close conjunction here means we are thinking more about our woundedness, and maybe we're seeing more of what still needs to be healed. I know you're tired. I know you don't want to look anymore, but our story is unfolding where we have to continue to look and be with what isn't working and envision something new and different. You know, like today, I wasn't going to do a video because my ring light camera holder is either I lost it or it broke off of the ring light. So I was going to do from my camera because I got a lot of feedback on don't do Zoom because we want to see you. But my only option today was through Zoom. So just make peace with it. I know there's healing to do and improving to do with the way I deliver these videos, but I'm still showing up just as I am today. But this is going to show us this new moon. You know, it's normally the full moon that's illuminating all the things we have to see. I feel like this new moon, because of Chiron there and Mercury there, and a lot of other things I'm not going to get into. This is a really dynamic new moon. Really, that overarching theme of last year and still into this new year of what's not working anymore and what's the new innovative way to do things is really alive in this new moon, inviting us to that constant question, what's not working and what could be better. But I want to get back to the Chris Rock story and event because it really perked my interest as a healer. I heard Chris Rock, by the way, I thought he was incredibly gracious, and what an example of not reacting, but staying in a response state. He responded, but he didn't get reactive, right? Good lesson, good role modeling, right? But a story came out after about that he was bullied as a younger boy, and that created a lot of anger in him. And remember, anger is a lot of hurt turned inward, right? And then, you know, thinking about Will Smith and being the protector of his wife and all whatever the dynamic was going on with him, both are still in need of healing, right? But then we get to hear from Jada, who, when I heard this, I was like, whoa, she is bringing the divine, sacred, feminine message. And this is for all of us. It's not just for this scenario. She said, I'm trying to look for the quote here, so profound. Her response, again, so perfect for this new moon, for all of us. She said, this is the season for healing, and I'm here for it. Wow. Yes. Perfect response. Perfect invitation for all of us. We witnessed that. I thought it was intriguing that there was so much conversation about it. Why? Because we're all connected. We're all the same. We're all one, having different expressions of soul, right? So where you were triggered by this event, that's your shadow. Where you were on the side of that other person, that's also you. And we are also Jada speaking this divine, sacred, feminine message. This is the season for healing, and I'm here for it. Are you? Well, I hope that you are. And this new moon really invites us to think of new ways of being that are more aligned with our soul essence, our authentic nature. Again, this is for me, the purpose. We come into this world fully intact with our soul, with all of the beautiful gifts and purpose we have to offer. And then we have to kind of adapt in our human experience and survive and be safe. But we're always longing to emerge. And I just keep getting this image of, this is perfect for the Aries new moon, of the seed in the darkness through winter that busts through the soil, reaching for the light. And I feel like that's what all of us have been doing for the last 2 years. And this spring, this new moon feels like a powerful new reemergence. I'm not saying that we're done with transformation. No, we're not. There's a lot more. There's a lot of activity happening that's pretty intense. But this feels like a breakthrough moment for all of us. I'm claiming it as that anyway, for myself and for all of us. So remembering that, this new moon is not only bringing us a new season, spring, where really have you noticed that? I really would love for you to comment. Have you noticed your energy shifting in April, or maybe even in, we're not in April yet, in March, end of March towards April in general? I have. And really, how can you not, when you start to hear nature coming alive, we hear the birds singing, we hear, just feel, it's just a different feeling. Doesn't that feel different to you? I want to hear about it from you. So it's not only ushering in a new season, but it's also, again, the new astrological new year. So here we are. I wanted to just share some thoughts I have, my intuition, my intuitive take on what we might experience. And remember, I say might or may. When I do someone's soul chart for them, I'm not saying this is it, this is how it's going to be. I speak in possibilities. And I always say to my clients, you are the expert of you. I'm just going to reflect some possibilities. The ones that resonate are the ones you go with, okay? So here are my possibilities, reflecting some possibilities for this new year, the first new moon in the new year. And that is with this season, I think about all signs as, the shadow side of it, and then the more positive side. And by the way I think about it in our human experience, we're a spirit, a soul having a human experience, and we are wounded in our human experience. Shadow lives there. And then we also have the beautiful gifts that come from our soul. So all the signs have that too. So some of the shadow of Aries energy that we may notice in ourselves or in others or in the collective is aggressiveness and fighting. We've already been seeing a lot of that. And really, actually, this event we saw, if you watch the Oscars, was the shadow of Aries, or the Mars energy on full blast, right? Or one could say toxic masculinity, right? Again, we're just saying things in our collective world instead of going, immediately to judgment. That's wrong. He's right. She's wrong. That's right. This is what I know the truth. A lot of people think to know the truth these days. And I'll tell you, none of us know the truth. We're all still figuring it out. But I'm inviting all of us to shift our focus from wrong or right, blame or shame, which is all externalized shadow, to what is in need of healing here? What do I sense in this person that needs healing? And maybe I'll just pray for them. And where is that I sense that needs to be healed in them? Where do I need to heal that in me? That's doing our work on the inner, our soul work, that allows us to contribute to the collective. Okay, can't say that enough. I mean, sometimes I feel like I just say the same thing over and over again. But anyway, we're all practicing. And Ram Dass said that beautiful quote, we're all just walking ourselves home, right? So the shadow side of Aries in general, I'm not saying if you're an Aries, this is who you are. And also, we all have all of these qualities inside of us. When you look at a chart, you may not have Aries in your chart, but you have a house in your chart that is Aries, where there's how you express your Aries energy. But with a new moon, or when the moon is in a sign, we get to borrow that energy. So The shadow side of Aries is, again, aggressiveness, fighting, selfishness, combative, competitive. Come on, Aries. Any Aries out there that can relate to this sometimes? Wanting to win, and also being very impulsive. Like, actually, what we saw again, Will Smith, I looked at his chart because I was curious what the heck was going on with him. He actually is a Libra peacekeeper. So I thought, wow, this is really unusual for him. But I think if I remember, I didn't study his chart, but I think he has Uranus conjuncting his moon or sun. I don't remember, but that is, really shocking behavior, really like stunning, shocking. And that's in his chart. But also, we've got, I'm not going to get into the squares and all that, but we've got some activity with Uranus. And I'm not going to get into that, only to say we're going to continue to be shocked and surprised by things happening in our collective world. Why? Because we're looking at what needs to be healed. That's what's going on. So I also want to highlight I don't want to say positive, but so the shadow, there's the dark shadow and the light shadow, or the positive and negative, but they're both important, right? But in general, and the strengths, I'll say, of Aries nature that we can tether into and utilize is the ability to trailblaze new paths, the pioneer, one who, the energy of taking leadership, of taking action. This is a time for us to take action, to be the leader of our own lives, the leader, the advocate for our own healing, and to take action on what's needed to move ourselves forward and to contribute to the collective and moving forward, not being stuck in these old paradigms that are dismantling, but taking leadership and offering something of value for the contribution to the greatest good, right? So Aries energy, also, I like to remember that I have Jupiter in Aries. I don't always lead with this, and I'm working on letting it be more powerful in me, which is self-assuredness, confidence, strong leaders, and taking initiative. So this is a time for you, for us, to take initiative, to be gentle and aware and compassionate, maybe witness ourselves with sacred awareness. What still needs to be healed? Where am I still triggered by others? That's our shadow work, to heal. What is being revealed? Where am I bothered by that person? Where is that in me? So there is reviewing also a lot of stuff with relationships still. We're reviewing, learning the lessons we learned, needing to apply those. And we also may feel there's an aspect that I'm not going to get into, but I'll just tell you in general, it feels back to the gas is running in the car, but there's the foot's on the brake, and you want to move forward and you kind of held back. But with the new moon, this is where you may feel frustrated from that aspect, but to say, what is it I desire? And what does that look like? And to plant those seeds of possibilities. They take a little while to cultivate. We're not ready to race forward just yet. We're just visioning for that. Okay. All right. So the new moon revealing wounds that are in need of healing. I covered that. I invite you to be gentle with yourselves and others and vision for the higher possibilities. And I just want to make sure I covered everything here that I wanted to. Just think of this as a wonderful new chapter of the unfolding story we're sharing. We are all contributing. We're all writing our own story and contributing to the collective story unfolding. What's the story you want to live in? And who and how do you want to be? And what kind of representative and maybe even role model? Because remember, the younger ones are always watching us. I think that's where my heart broke the most, watching that, how many young ones look up to Will Smith. And we need to learn healthy expression when we're angry, a healthier way. And that broke my heart. But also, he demonstrated what needs to be healed in the collective. So, okay. I think that's all I have for you. Hopefully next time. Oh, I do want to say this. Take some bold new action. And for me, I'm thinking about tomorrow at 6 o'clock, going live on Facebook to invite everyone for a new moon discussion about this a little bit deeper, take you through a meditation and maybe some prompts to help you cultivate potential for how to work with this new moon. What seeds of possibilities do you want to plant? Okay, that's all I have for now. Thank you for spending some of your precious time with me. I appreciate your comments. Please do comment on this video, like and share if you're called to. I have that Nike saying in my head, just do it. Just do it. Just comment. Ride this energy. Well, we're still in Pisces moon, but when we move into Aries moon and that wonderful energy of boldness and an invitation to step forward, may your first step forward be a comment under this video. And may your next step be taking action on something you've held back or waited or felt unsure about. Not impulsively, remember that's the shadow, but from a well thought out, this is right for me, but I haven't had the courage to do it. Just do it. All right. Thank you so much for being with me. Take good care of yourself. Continue to nurture your beautiful soul and contribute that beautiful soul potential that is yours and only yours to share. See you next time. And I have a story to share with you very soon of an exciting new journey that I'm on. I'm just not ready to share it yet. That's coming soon. Okay. Take good care. And now I've got to sign off. Until next time. Much love.